Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Let's see who who seized Russia's assets and what can they do with the assets, and how can Russia retaliate against the offenders. So let's see. This is explained by an article coming from Sputnik from today, the 30th of November 2022. Who froze Russian assets abroad and what might happen to them? Well, yeah, let's see who. We can guess. Over $300 billion of Russian assets have been frozen by foreign states, most of which is foreign currency reserves belonging to the Central Bank of Russia. So they got the money, the cash, the liquidity. Following the launch of Russia's military operation in Ukraine, the United States and its allies enacted several rounds of economic sanctions against Moscow, including the freezing of billions of dollars of assets abroad, having only deprived Russia of the ability to use these assets at first. The US and the EU now more confiscating them under the pretext of using this wealth to help Ukraine, with Russia warning that such a move would amount to outright theft. I think so. So how much are these seized Russian assets worth and what countries currently hold them? Let's see. The size that matters. No shit. The total amount of Russian assets frozen by the United States and its allies exceed 300 billion. I found somewhere about 318, with most of them in the form of Russian Central Bank's foreign currency reserves. The Russian Central Bank total frozen assets constitute roughly half of its total foreign reserves, which were estimated at $640 billion in March. So all the total frozen is 640 billion. According to the central bank's 2021 annual report, the largest portion of its foreign currency of gold assets, 16.8%, was stored in China, followed by France 9.9%, Japan 9.3%, the United States 6.4%, and the United Kingdom 5.1%. So foreign currency and gold were this. All right, China was the biggest with 16.8, and then it was France 9.9, Japan 9.3, United States 6.4, and United Kingdom 5.1. The countries that froze the assets include the United States, France, Japan, Germany, the United Kingdom, and Canada. Hop, Canada jumped in. In June, the US and its allies also boasted seizing some $30 billion of assets belonging to Russian business tycoons, whom they dubbed oligarchs. Meanwhile, EU Commissioner for Justice Didier Reynders said in October that European Union member states froze around 17.4 billion euro, which is $18 billion, worth of Russian assets, and that these funds were unevenly distributed throughout the EU. Earlier in November, one media outlet reported, citing an European Commission document, claiming that the EU has frozen some 68 billion euros, which is $70.5 billion worth of Russian assets, with up to 50 billion euros frozen in Belgium and about 5.5 billion euros in Luxembourg. Belgium, 50 billion euros? Wow. Do you know where Belgium is? You know how big Belgium is? Wow, it's okay, but it's okay, but Switzerland is a little bit bigger and has so much influence. Yeah, but still, why would you build Belgium? However, top government officials in both the EU and US have started calling for these frozen assets to be confiscated, allegedly to help Ukraine deal with the damage caused by the ongoing fighting. Well, that's what they try. Now, how Russia might respond to a seizure if they really take the money. So, Dmitry Peskov warned that such measures would likely deal a serious blow to the US and the EU, which risk losing the trust of property owners by taking what does not belong to them. That means if I put my money in a bank and I see what's going on to a neighbor of mine because he got in a scuffle with me and the bank froze his assets and uses his assets to give them to me, well, I will think, okay, I like it because I'm at, receiving of the money. But if things change in the future, I might be the one that is going to be the money taken from. So in principle, I like it now, not in principle, in weasel reality, I would like it now when I'm given his money. But when those guys get upset with me, they can do the exact same thing to me. That's why when I see these guys happy that, these cuckoo heads, being happy that, for instance, let's say Trump get banned from this outlet or that, platform and this and that, then they celebrate and they're all happy in their stupidity, I have to add. I'm thinking, you idiots, if that happened to that guy who's a multi-billionaire, who was the president of the United States of America, who has connection, who has supposedly power, who's in the system, within the system, and this happens to him, what about you little worm? The same with Kanye West. If these guys are able to fuck this guy up, all of them were just sucking his lemonade, let's put it this way, all this time, just because he made some claims, and now they're destroying this guy, what about you? What about me? We're just unimportant ants on this planet for these guys. And if they can do it to them, why shouldn't they do it to you? Just because you think that you are good. They don't care. If they have to go from point A to point B and you are in the middle, they will go over you like a steamroller with no stop. Let's shift the gear forward. That's what they're going to do. What do you think they're going to care? Even if you're good, even if you're perfect. I mean, if you want to be straight, just look at our, Savior, Jesus Christ. What happened to him? Wasn't he pure? Or was he fantastic? And what happened? Didn't we do that to him? Anyway, Dmitry Medvedev, deputy chairman of Russia's Security Council and the country's former president and prime minister, also stated that Moscow would have to confiscate the money and property belonging to foreign investors. In Russia, if foreign countries were to pass legislation allowing a de facto theft of Russian assets, even though these investors are not responsible for fools from their governments. Peskov said that also highlighted that such actions indicate the downfall of the sanctity of private property principle in the West. Well, who believes that is an idiot already. Medvedev also pointed out that there is about over $300 billion worth of foreign assets frozen in Russia, calling it a happy coincidence, and adding that it would be enough to recompense Russia for what might be stolen from it. So basically, if you steal from me, I'm gonna steal from you. So two wrongs gonna make it right, I guess. Anyway, this is I kill you or you kill me thing, kind of thing. It's not like, oh, you know what, I wanna be straight and noble and all that. Yeah, and then you die. Okay, thank you. Like it was a novice or a trainee, a samurai, and he was asking his master, what do you do? How do you fight with a thief? If the thief fights in dirty, are you gonna still be masterful and play by the etiquette and fight? And said, no, you fight like a samurai with a samurai, and you fight like a thief with a thief. So I guess if we consider Russia being the samurai here, which I don't try to imply that, I'm just saying the Russians are supposed to behave nobly because the other guys are no. Besides, is another principle. These guys are just gonna no. You can be noble and then you die. Really, I don't want to do that. I mean, unless I know that in the future my future generations will take advantage of my martyrdom or something. But if they kill me and then they're gonna enslave my nation in the future, I will not show any sign of nobility, because there would not be nobility, there would be stupidity. So this is the little countries can hide. Yeah, you see, if I talk too much, FBI calls me. I have to show up at their office on Monday at 8:25 p.m. They have all the ladies of the night line up for me, and they got the wine, the best wine. Anyway, so you don't want to do this. You don't want to be stupid and lose the whole thing just because you are somehow, how should I put it, noble. I mean, you can, but you have to be measured in that. So, if these guys are going to do that, the little countries, the little hyenas that hide behind the big dog, or the big lion in this case, they can do it. Imagine Belgium, or whatever that was, Denmark, or whatever it was, I think it was Belgium, has what, 40 or 50 billion dollars in assets, Russian assets, frozen. I mean, imagine that they meet Russia and those guys in the middle of the dark alley after this, alone. What do you think will happen? I think Belgium, I think, will get a fucking beating that is not going to recover ever. Right? Let's see. Who's that? Is that Belgium or what? I don't remember better about this. Let's see here. Belgium, yeah, Belgium, 50 billion euros. Can you imagine that? And they are doing that because they are under the umbrella of the European Union and are under the umbrella of other, big boss, United States. Anyway, they will retaliate, I guarantee you that, and we already know that because they did it before. Do you think it's fair? I don't think it's fair. I tell you why. If I have a problem with a neighbor, the grocery store will prevent me from buying food for my kids just because I have a problem with the neighbor. What do you think I'm going to do? I'm going to talk to the owner of the food store, right? Grocery store. Like Japan did before the Second World War. Anyway, thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.